Tesla fell to 297.38 last week, then closed the regular session on July 31st at 311.21. That is a bounce of about 4.7% off the low. Good morning, this is Ken. Here is the thing to hold on to before anything else. A bounce and a bottom are two different judgments. Price recovering is a fact. Downside being finished is a conclusion. Those are not the same. Today we test that using four things: RSI, price, moving averages, and volume. This is not a video telling you to buy or sell. It is a framework for deciding for yourself. Let me place the numbers precisely. The low on the weekly candle was 297.38. The regular session close on July 31 was 31,121. That is 13.83, about a 4.7% recovery. On the daily candle that same day, the low was 3,001.97 and the close was up 0.76%. Two things worth separating right now. There are two lows here. The weekly low at 29,738 and the daily low at 3,127. When I say bounce off the low today, I mean the weekly one. And the number marked after on the chart, around 309.60, is the after hours price. The regular session close is 301.21. Do not mix those two either. Now the substance of the bounce. Start with RSI. It expresses momentum on a 0 to 100 scale. Below 30 is generally read as oversold, above 70 as overbought. As of July 34, daily RSI is 31.7D, 4-hour RSI is 30.84. Both dipped under 30 and have climbed back into the 30s. The 4-hour in particular sank to around 20 in late July. That is a deep oversold reading, and it has come back. Oversold conditions unwinding. That is the strongest argument the bulls have right now. But if you stop here, you will misread this. Two weaknesses. First, RSI measures momentum, not trend direction. In a downtrend, RSI cycles around 30 repeatedly. Recovering 30 is not proof that selling is finished. Second, and this is the part I really want you to see today, you can overlay a moving average on RSI itself, and against that line, the daily and the 4-hour disagree. On the 4-hour, RSI is 30.84 and its average is 22.85. RSI is above its average. Short-term momentum is improving. On the daily, RSI is 31.70 and its average is 36.20. RSI is still below its average. Medium-term momentum has not improved. So, bouncing on the short time frame, still falling on the longer one. Both are true at the same time right now. A bounce is not a bottom, is not a feeling. It is a disagreement visible on the chart. Volume next. July 31st daily volume was 36 million shares. On the day of the sharp drop, volume was several times that. Heavy trade on the way down, lighter trade on the way back up. That is the current shape. Then the 4-hour volume delta, which shows whether buying or selling had the upper hand. As of July 31, it reads minus 47,190. During the sell-off, there were bars past negative 1 million. On the bounce, the positive bars have not come close to matching that. Careful here. This does not mean price must fall because volume is lighter. Selling may simply have run its course. But there is no confirmation yet that buyers have stepped in with conviction. That is the accurate way to put it. 3 levels worth watching. None of them are absolute lines. They are checkpoints. First, 300. A round number, the kind that tends to get treated as psychological support, and the weekly low at 29,738 sits just underneath. A clean break below with no recovery would change the premise of this bounce. Second, 320. Price consolidated there after the drop before breaking lower, which makes it a candidate for first resistance on the way back. That is about 2.8% above here. Whether it clears on a closing basis could decide whether this bounce extends. Third, the 20-day moving average at 363.93. A moving average is just the average of closing prices over a period, so the 20-day is roughly the average price of the last month. Price is 14.5% below it, and getting back would take a 16.9% move. That is not a price target. It is one condition for saying the short-term trend has improved. Two more averages. The 50-day is 390.76. The 200-day is 401.6. 311.21. Price is below all three. It is 24.4% under the 200-day. Look at the order too. From the top, 200-day, 50-day, 20-day, then price. The longer the average, the higher it sits. That configuration says the medium and long-term trend is still pointed down, and a short-term bounce does not rearrange it quickly, which makes this bounce most consistently read as a recovery inside a downtrend. Not predictions. Conditions. What would have to show up and how it would change the read. Bullish tilt. A clean close above 320 with volume behind it. Daily RSI crossing above its own average and then closing the distance to the 20-day. Neutral. Chop between 300 and 320 with volume staying quiet. In that case, direction is simply undecided. Bearish tilt, closing below 300 and failing to recover, particularly below the weekly low at 29,738. If volume expands on that, it is evidence selling has resumed. 5 things to check this week. Can it close above 320? Can it hold 300 on a closing basis? Does daily RSI cross above its average? Does volume on up days start matching the sell-off? And does the gap to the 20-day narrow? Pulling it together. Chart facts, weekly low 27.38, regular close 31.121, a bounce of about 4.7%, daily RSI 31.7, 34-hour RSI 30.84, the 20-day at 363.93, the 50-day at 390.76, the 20-day at 41160, with price under all three 1.60, with price under all three. From there, it is interpretation that 300 could act as psychological support and 300 as first resistance. That volume has not sufficiently confirmed a bottom. And the 3 scenarios, all of that is possibility, not confusion. If you take one thing away today, take this. Short-term improving, medium and long-term still down. Both hold at once. 4-hour RSI is above its average. Daily RSI is not. Price is below all 3 moving averages. So it bounced is correct, and the trend is still down is also correct. The thing that matters most here is being clear about which time frame you are talking about. Living ahead of the future is not about calling the price. It is about deciding in advance which conditions would change your mind. This week, 320 and 300. Watch those 2 closes. That is it for today. If this was useful, A thumbs up really does help the channel. I cover Tesla, SpaceX, and the wider EV world from an owner's seat here in Japan, and I post new videos here regularly. If you are not subscribed yet, I would appreciate it. Nothing here is investment advice. Please do your own research. Thanks for watching, and let's keep enjoying life with these machines.
Before we wrap up, let me take a moment to introduce myself. I drive a Tesla Model Y, and at home I've installed a Tesla Powerwall, so I actually charge my car with solar energy. I truly believe Tesla is shaping the future, and that's why I share the latest news and insights here on this channel. I'm from Japan, but I want to connect with Tesla fans all around the world. That's why I also create an English version of my videos. YouTube now lets you switch the audio into your own language, so you can enjoy it in whatever language you prefer. Most of all, I'd love to connect with Tesla fans everywhere so we can support Tesla together. I also share updates on X, so feel free to follow me there and let's connect. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.